if I told you the life you're chasing, the success, the relationship, the peace, it all starts with one thing: how much you love yourself. Yes, self-love. The way you see yourself and treat yourself sets the tone for everything else. So why do we put it last? Why? Today I'm going to share how loving myself has brought me everything I ever wanted and how it can do the same for you. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Hannah. This video is deeply personal and raw. For the past year, I've gone through a journey of self-discovery. One thing became so clear: how I wasn't loving myself enough. I was pouring into everyone else, giving so much of my energy and leaving nothing to myself. I was the ultimate people pleaser, but that's changed. If you ever felt stuck, unappreciated, or you're constantly chasing something you can't quite reach, this video is for you. Self-love is the foundation to everything. And when I say self-love, I'm not talking about surface level stuff like pampering yourself, taking yourself on a date, buying yourself flowers, and little things like that. Although that's considered a good thing that you're doing for yourself, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about how you see yourself when no one's watching. For so many years, I let other people define my worth: family, friends, or even societal expectations. And the problem with that is you're always chasing validation outside of yourself, and that's why a lot of people have to be in shitty relationships. I had to learn to fill my own cup first. For me, that meant redefining my worth through the lens of my faith, prioritizing my health, setting strict boundaries that I wouldn't allow myself to cross. And when I started valuing myself, I noticed how my relationships and opportunities shifted. People began treating me the way I treated myself, with love, value, respect, detaching from your old self. You know what keeps people from becoming who they've always meant to be? They're too attached to who they have been. And that's hard for a lot of people. We say things like, I've always been this way. It's an excuse to stay stuck. If the way you've been living isn't working for you, it's time to let it go. It's time to detach from your old self, for you to find your potential, for you to fall in love with yourself, for you to attract amazing opportunities and abundance to your life. I hit my own version of rock bottom before I even realized it. I had to let go of old habits, outdated mindsets, and even people that were holding me back. I'm not gonna be sitting here sugarcoating it for you. It's hard. Growth is very painful, and so is staying the same. The doorway to your best self is wide enough for you to fit through. Stop trying to carry everyone else with you. Some people won't be in the same journey as you. Some people won't evolve with you. Some people simply will not go up there with you. You can't carry everyone with you. You have to rescue you first before you show up for anyone else. Setting boundaries is self-respect. For the longest time in my life, I thought saying yes to everyone was my way of showing love. But in reality, it was draining me. Saying no doesn't really mean you're selfish. No, not at all. It means you respect yourself. You have boundaries in place. And you can't, if you allow yourself to cross your boundaries, you can't expect other people to respect it. You need to be strict on that. If you say yes to something that deep down you know it's not good for you, you are disrespecting yourself. And that's not what we're gonna do. And you can't demand respect from other people if you're crossing your own boundaries. What worked for me was I started small. I started stop overcommitting to things I didn't want to do. I learned to let go of relationships, including friendships that drained my energy. And let me tell you, it was liberating. Saying no to others and things allowed me to say yes to myself, to show up for myself, to be the best for myself. It's not about being harsh or cold. It's about creating space that aligns with your goals and values. Self-love is not a one-time decision, it's a daily practice. Some days you'll feel on top of the world, you'll show up your best, you'll feel so good about yourself, about everything. And the other days you'll doubt everything, you'll start having thoughts about it, and that's okay. I want you to know that that's okay. What matters is how you show up for yourself, especially on these tough days. Loving myself meant unlearning behaviors that no longer served me, that no longer has space in my life. It meant being intentional, very intentional about how I spend my time, my energy. It also meant letting go of the ideas that I can fix everyone else's problems. I know some of you relate, but being the oldest daughter, there's always that guilt in your heart where you have to show up and fix everyone and listen to everyone's problem. And some days it's hard because you can't show up for yourself, and some days you just want to, you're having tough days and like things are hard for you enough, but then you're expected to show up for everyone else. You're expected to fix everyone else. Like, I know I love my family and I'm there for them, but some days if it's hard for me, I know I can't rescue them at the end of the day. Like, people have to be willing. People have to be willing to fix. You can't rescue anyone if you haven't rescued yourself first. When I finally prioritized myself, my emotional well-being, my health, worked on my self-concept, and I stopped chasing things that felt like out of my reach, I started attracting opportunities. My life has gotten 10 times better. I start seeing things differently. I started creating daily affirmations that I read every single morning. I started having system and like routines. I completely was a person that like it gets me emotional sometimes when I think about it, but I know that's part of my journey. That's part of my self-discovery journey, and I am proud of it because it led me to the person I've became. But I know everything I ever wanted, if it was a business, money, traveling, having a certain wardrobe, like everything, I saw everything fall into place. And if I didn't work on my self-concept, if I didn't love myself, if I didn't create a safe space within myself, I know I would still be so miserable. And that's the beauty of growth, that's the beauty of evolving, and that's the beauty of unlearning and relearning and rewiring your brain and rewriting your story and shifting your identity and like working on your self-concept and knowing that everything that you've always wanted is within you. It's how you feel about yourself, how you perceive the things that you think are so cool or so expensive to have. Like, this brings me to my next point. Faith and self-love go hand by hand. As a Muslim, it's fulfilling the trust Allah has given us over our bodies. Your body has rights over you. And taking care of yourself and loving yourself and being kind to yourself is an act of worship. And for me, this looks like making time for prayer, eating something that nourishes my body, and resting when I need to and not forcing myself. When you prioritize yourself this way, you're better equipped to serve other people and fulfill your purpose. Here's the thing that no one tells you. Growth isn't easy. It requires sacrifice. You have to let go of your old self, comfort zones, unhealthy habits, and sometimes even people you love. Every time you let go of something that's no longer serving you, that's no longer good for you, that no longer aligns with the person you're becoming, you make room for something better. For me, I promised myself I'm gonna make this video without getting emotional, but it's hard, man. It's hard. For me, I've had to walk away and let go of toxic friendships, family dynamics, and say no to the things that didn't align with my goals, and even facing my own worst fears. Every step brought me closer to the life I wanted. It isn't easy, but it's always worth it. Everything I ever wanted came to me when I started loving myself. It wasn't the easiest journey, but it was the most rewarding. And the best part, I'm still growing, still evolving, still learning to love myself more every single day. And if you are putting yourself last, I want you to remember this. You're worthy of the time, love, and the energy you so freely give to other people. Start with one small step, whether that is building boundary, taking care of your health, creating daily affirmations to practice, and being kind to yourself. Let me know in the comments what is one way you're going to love yourself more this week. And if this resonated with you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs to hear it. Thank you for being here. I'll see you next time.